The Bert Show.
Time to get buzzed on the hot goss from Hollywood with Abby. It's the Bert Show's entertainment buzz.
He signed up for a reality show all about getting married. And then he said, I'm not ready to get married. So if you haven't watched season 6 of Love is Blind yet, you might want to tune in later on our podcast. You can find it wherever you get your favorite podcasts. And basically, there's this one couple that has everybody gagged on social media. So I'm talking about a woman named AD and a guy named Clay. In Love is Blind, you talk to each other through these things they call the pods. So it's basically like all these dates where you can hear each other, but you can't see each other, hence the name Love is Blind. And then if you fall in love with them by not seeing them, you end up getting engaged. So these two end up getting engaged on the show, and it seems like they have a pretty decent relationship throughout the course of it. There are a couple of weird conversations that Clay had brought up. He was like, every man I've ever known has cheated on his wife, and I just don't really want to be in a position where I'm going to cheat on my wife. So some sketchy things where it seemed like he was basically telling AD that he probably wasn't ready for commitment. He had a lot of growing to do. But leading up to the final episode where they have to go in front of their entire family and decide whether or not they're actually going to get married, he seemed really on board. He seemed very excited about it. They showed clips of his bachelor party, and he didn't seem to have any reservations. I was like, okay, we're going to have a couple of people, end up getting married from this whole process. Good for them.
They usually get 1 or 2 a season, right?
Yeah, 1 or 2. And it wasn't shocking. Like, I think everybody watching the season was like, yeah, we're going to get 2 marriages out of this. So it shouldn't be that shocking of a finale. Little did we know that when AD and Clay would walk down the aisle together, AD was going to be all on board because that's what it seems like Clay's on board with too, is this marriage thing. And then Clay left us all shocked.
This has been the best process. AD, I love you. I don't think it's responsible for me to say I do, but I want you to know that I'm rocking with you. I just don't think it's responsible for me to say I do at this point when I still need work. I still need to get to the point where I'm 100% in. And I'm not going to have you over here thinking that it's not going to work. I'm going to put the work in for you, and we'll go through this together. I don't care what nobody says. I know fully I'm not ready for marriage, and you deserve the best. And if I'm not ready to give that 100%, I won't go there with you when I'm not ready. And I appreciate you, and I know that you will fight for me and we'll let it work. I know, but I can't say yes right now. I'm sorry, AD.
So he's basically saying, I want to stay together. I just don't want to get married.
Yeah, now keep in mind that this is also the way that the show is set up. Is you walk down the aisle, you got the priest right there, or whoever you want to call him. He's right there, and he's ready to marry you. And you're making the decision right there. If you say yes, you get married. You say no, everybody leaves. So this is the way it's designed. But for him to walk right up to it, knowing that he's not ready for it, ooh, that's not going to go well.
Well, it's pretty messed up because there were other couples that made the decision before the day happened. So for me, the infraction here isn't him saying no. It's fine if you're not ready for marriage. If it's fine that you discover that throughout this process. But when other people sat down with their partners before the day and said, yeah, this just isn't going to work, it makes you look like a total a-hole to do it in front of her entire family.
How much do you think the producer slipped in his pocket to do that?
They certainly gave him the suggestion, I think, probably.
I thought it was like a plan from the beginning to try to be a boyfriend but not a husband. Like he knew the entire time that's what he wanted to do.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, it seemed like he was really considering the whole marriage thing. Like when the bachelor party came up, I mean, he seemed like, yeah, he was ready to get married to AD. So I find it totally unfair for her, the fact that she had to put on the dress and do the hair and the makeup. And right before the ceremony, you can see she's like very excited about this. She's really seen an entire future with this guy. And then he totally just like backed out at the last minute.
So did she say yes first and then he did that?
Yes, she said yes first. And then after this whole ceremony, she goes back to the bridal suite and she's obviously very overcome by this, very upset. And he comes back and he's like, but I still want to stay with you. And she's looking at him like, I don't want to be a long-term fiance. You said that you came on here looking for marriage, so why are you not saying yes to it?
Yeah, he was just as jacked up before the show started, so he should have known, like, I'm not ready for marriage. He shouldn't have figured it out while the priest is right in front of him.
Yeah. And something that was really interesting, too, is his parents were both there. And his parents were together for 24 years, but they ended up splitting up, I think, because of the dad's infidelity. And his dad is basically encouraging him to continue to not continue a relationship with her. Basically, like, you got to do what's comfortable for you. And I'm like, this is just so classic. I'm seeing where all the trauma is coming from. Like, your parents consistently enabling you to make these decisions that hurt other people without taking their feelings into consideration at all. So I was livid for her.
And how long do they know each other before they have to make this whole decision?
It's like weeks.
It's like a month and a half, maybe.
All this emotion just dripping out.
And,
huh?
and remember, the first couple of weeks, they don't even see each other. They're just talking through this wall and stuff.
So they actually see each other for like a day or
A
two.
couple of weeks, maybe, right?
Yeah. But you should know.
This baffles me.
Listen, I don't feel bad for anybody.
Not at all.
You, right?
Not even a little
You
bit.
signed up for this circus. Enjoy the
There
show.
you go.
All right, Zayn Malik is finally speaking out about his relationship with One Direction. I'll tell you what he said about the boys on your next E-Buzz on The Bert Show.
The Bert Show.